going to talk about travel mistakes. So any kind of mistakes that you can make while you're booking your travel or just traveling in general. So if you want to avoid making travel mistakes, just keep watching. So first I'm going to jump into the video by mentioning something that I talked about in my very first video, and that is not having a hard copy of your reservation. And I mean plane, train, car, hotel, any reservation you make, you're going to want to have a hard copy. And I personally am guilty of this. I am on my phone during the entire security checkpoint line, and then once I get up there, I like to scan it. So I do have my boarding pass on my phone, but just in case, I have a hard copy, because what happens if you can't scan your phone on their scanning device and they won't let you in? So instead of going through that entire process and then having to run back to the kiosk to get your boarding pass, just jump in line for the kiosk, get your boarding pass, and still have it on your phone. That way, if you have both, then you're covered both ways. One thing that happened in Boston, we got there and they couldn't find our reservation in their own computer. So they ended up finding it, but if they didn't, then they would not have to have a room for us. If I prove that I paid for it and I prove that I made my reservation with my physical copy of it, they're going to have to give me a room. So this next one is not really something that many people think about. If you're traveling internationally, not updating your passport or getting your passport in time. Certain countries require that your passport has 6 months validity. That means that it is valid for 6 months before you can travel to that country. So if you get your passport and then you are traveling 3 months later, that's not good enough. This next one is kind of a given, but I feel like I need to throw it in here just so that you guys are reminded of it. Not wearing the right shoes. So when we went to Vegas last year, I didn't want to wear, any sort of like grubby, dingy gym shoes. So I found my most comfortable pair of sandals and I wore those, and that was fine. Test out your shoes before you go on your trip and you're gonna walk a long time. Maybe go to an amusement park. Test your shoes at an amusement park before you go on vacation. If your feet don't hurt, then you should be fine. The next mistake people make is overpacking. You don't need to bring an entire outfit for every single day that you are on vacation. So what I like to do is I like to have 2 or 3 tops for every bottom that I am bringing. So if I go somewhere for 4 days, then I will bring 4 tops and only 2 bottoms. You're going somewhere that's very hot and somewhere that you're going to be sweating, then maybe you might not want to wear the same bottoms more than once, but this worked for me in Boston, this worked for me in Las Vegas, it works for me in Florida. So this just kind of works for me. That's basically my rule. I don't have any problems with that. It helps me to not overpack because I'm not bringing an entire outfit for the duration of my vacation, so it saves me some space in my suitcase. The next travel mistake is overbooking yourself. If you book something for every single hour of every single day that you're there, you're not going to have a good time. Like, you are just going to be so overwhelmed and overbooked, and you're not going to have enough time to stop and really look at why you're on vacation. What are you going to go see? You want to spend some time doing those things. If every single minute is planned out, it's going to be way too stressful on you. So what we did in London is we hopped off the flight and we saw pretty much everything. Like, we went to the London Eye, we saw Buckingham Palace, we went through St. James Park. Like, we pretty much did all the touristy things on the first day, because we had an overnight flight and we got there I think at 8 o'clock in the morning. So we did everything that we wanted to do that first day. That way the second day we could sleep in and kind of combat the jet lag a little bit, and that worked fantastic. That was great. I think we ended up walking 13 miles that first day, but then, like I said, we got to sleep in the next day and it was perfect. I also liked the way that we planned things out when we went to Boston. We had 1 or 2 things per day, maybe 3, and we just kind of had generic times, like we were going to do this in the morning and then this in the afternoon, and it worked out really well. We just got to kind of mosey around the city and hang out and do things on our own time. We got to do everything on our own time. So I don't really like to overbook myself when I go on vacation. Plus, it's a vacation. Why are you going to stress about your vacation? Aren't you trying to take a vacation from your stressful life? The next tip I have is about if you are going internationally. So if you are going internationally and you need a phone, make sure you have enough data. Make sure you have a phone plan that works for you. Phone companies will offer you a few different options for when you're going internationally based on data. My personal suggestion, when I went to London, I didn't have one. I just put it on airplane mode and I left it on airplane mode the entire week. There's a lot of places with free Wi-Fi that I was able to use. So that's one way you could save money. You're not paying for all the data. The other thing is that sometimes buying the most expensive data package is going to work in your favor, because if you go over your data package, they're going to charge you some astronomical amount per gigabyte that you use over your allotted data plan. So sometimes it's worth it to just add the most expensive data plan just to make sure that you are covered. The other thing is that if you travel to Canada and Mexico from the US, some phone carriers will allow your data that you pay for monthly to carry over. So just check on that. Make sure your phone company knows that you're going out of the country, and they will try to accommodate you the best that they can. So another thing that I want to mention is, and it's not really necessarily a mistake per se, but I personally don't like buying minutes cards. Like when you land in a foreign country, you can go pretty much anywhere, like any sort of like convenience store, or I think they even have them in the airport. You can buy a minutes card, and then you can replenish the card with minutes. You know, like you buy minutes and you put it on the card, and then when you call somebody, you use the card to pay for the call. I find that really, really, really like confusing. So, like I said, when I went to London, I didn't really use a phone to call anybody. I did, however, use the Wi-Fi to FaceTime. So now with today's technology, there are a lot of ways that you can communicate internationally and maybe not have a data plan. Like you can just hop on the Wi-Fi and use that. So I think that's it. I don't think I have anything else to say about travel mistakes, which is good because that short video means less mistakes. If you have any mistakes that you guys have made and how you have solved them or prevented them in the future, then please leave them in the comments below. I love to read those. Thank you guys so much for watching. I can't wait to talk to you guys soon. I love you. Goodbye.